and welcome to episode 137 of Gamers and Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Chesson, and joining me this week, it's the other spark on a pod, a man who has spent the weekend smashing all of the walls in the Cotswolds. It's Mr. Stuart Burgess.
Good evening, young man. Yes, you are completely right. The Cotswolds doesn't look anything like it used to, according to me, and I pity anybody who's going in today because hopefully it's been regenerated back to look like it should and not like how I left it, but we'll get onto that a bit later.
You've wrecked it. You've wrecked the Cotswolds.
The beautiful 4K Cotswolds.
Oh, the beautiful 4K HDR gloriousness. Anyway, Stu, how are you doing? How's it's been a couple of weeks since we last potted. How's things with you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, last one was, I think, on with Steve when we did our Spider-Man showish.
Yes.
And but yeah, no, good. Been busy working like always. Decided to have an inverted commas office day the other day, and finally got round to watching Solo, which I really enjoyed. Got it delivered from Amazon on 4K Blu-ray, and I think I had it in the house overnight. And it's just like, yeah, I didn't go to the cinema and watch this one.
Right.
No real reason. And I know that you were waxing lyrical about the snow scenes in 4K. And,
yes.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Without giving anything away, I enjoyed the couple of cameos that were in it. And I enjoyed. I don't know whether it's factually correct or whether they just made up how he got his name Solo. I quite enjoyed that bit in it, and yeah, I just how he met Chewie and all those sort of things. So I thought it was a really, really good little movie. And I know. Some people are slating the fact of these spin-off movies, but actually I quite liked it. I thought it sort of deviated nicely away from Star Wars and the main story and just picked up and just run with some really nice stuff. And work-wise, I found some nice little demo clips in there, so I was pen and paper jotting down time codes. So yeah, I know you enjoyed it when you saw it, didn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I saw it at the cinema. I went to the X Plus and saw it there, and I've watched it. I've watched it at home as well. And the more I watch that movie, the more I like the guy who plays Han Solo, and the more kind of it's not. When they redid the Star Trek movies, they had Chris Pine, and he almost does. Almost but not quite does an impression of Captain Kirk, but does it in an awesome way. I think the way that he plays that and the way that Carl Urban plays Bones in those movies are perfect. And I think the little nuances of Solo, you can pick those up in the new guy's name, and I should just reach my phone and find out, but I'm not. But so that the way that he plays it, the things that he says, I really like it. They even kind of give him that little scar, on his chin. There's all of those things, and I just love the way that he and Chewie meet. I think that's a fantastic way, and as for his name, I don't think it's ever been entered in any of the books or in anything like that, so I don't think we know how it got it. So I found that quite cool. It was just, but I just from start to finish, the very, very last cameo is amazing. Was mind blowing and just blew my brain. After the credits, and that was just like I was just, what the hell does that mean? And I just thought it was just a really good movie. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I know people are very divisive about it, aren't they? They either love it or they just absolutely hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, and I'm going to get slated for this, but I quite, in a way, I like the originals. I like the original Star Wars movies, but I do like the modern ones. I like the way that they are spinning it in a way, and I think people are just too critical now. I mean, we're getting Star Wars movies in the way we're getting Marvel programs on Netflix. Yes, you might not like every one, but hell, you're getting loads of content around the subjects that we like. And I think actually, I wonder if they could do a second Solo. I wonder if they could push it on further. And I just think it was brilliant, how he got his gun, obviously how he got the Millennium Falcon and all those type of things. I feel it was just played really well, and his co-stars, is it Donald Glover? No, Danny. It's Donald Glover.
Isn't it? Donald Glover.
Yeah. I think he's brilliant. I mean, I sort of follow him as the singer Childish Gambino, and so I'm familiar with that, familiar with the other work he's done, and I thought he just played the role really well, and you sort of put your mind forward to the other people who have played that role, and I just think, I think it was a great little movie. I'm looking forward to when the cinema's ready. I know I keep on saying that, it will be ready soon. Sitting down and watching it. I'm actually, to be honest, I'm lucky I did watch it, because I nearly went, no, I'll save that one, but I thought this is just getting ridiculous. I've got a cupboard full of 4K Blu-rays. I just want to sit down and watch.
Yes.
So looking forward to watching some more. I suppose other than that, I got suited up the other night and went to our industry award show at the British Museum, an awesome venue.
Yeah.
So got in my dinner jacket after finding the Brewdog pub in London,
awesome.
which I sort of sneaked into and had a little bite to eat and a cheeky beer, just to line the stomach ahead of the inevitably delayed awards dinner and the free-flowing red wine at the event. So that was good. That was sort of celebrating our industry and people who put projects forward for best cinema, best integrated home. So it's always a good one. I think I got to bed getting on for 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And that was only 2 minutes away from the museum as well. So, hats off to the British Museum. They keep the party rocking right until the early hours of the morning.
Wow, so they didn't chuck you out or anything like that, or like midnight or anything like that. They kept it going.
No. The ticket said it was 7 p.m. till 1:30 a.m. Right. I know I looked at my watch and it was 2:10.
Wow.
And I think it was like everybody had to be out of there at 2:30, otherwise they were going to get charged more. Our trade association or something like that was on the grapevine. But I know I sort of wandered off because you know what these things are like. You sort of lose the people you're with, and you're chatting to people but you haven't seen for years. And I just sort of thought, right, that's it. I'm off back to the hotel. And I know a load of people found a late night pizza joint that served beer and pizza,
right,
which I was really gutted about the next day because I was starving when I left there. But I just went straight back to my travel lodge, straight into the hotel, fell asleep, woke up, trained straight back home, and then switched on the Xbox and played a certain game. So,
yes.
Which we'll get on to. But what about yourself? What have you been up to?
I guess kind of not much. I guess kind of at the weekend we were doing the. I think it was really cool. We were doing the kind of final kind of tidy up of the garden, that kind of pre-autumnal, pre-winter kind of tidy up. So what I did was, because I was dying of cold last week, Nicola was doing all the hard work, doing all the manual lifting. So what I did was I kind of fired up the barbecue. So which was because it was so lovely on Saturday.
Yeah,
so I
just
I got the barbecue going, and kind of made some like beef short ribs, and I was just really while Nicola was doing all this hard work, I was just plying her with food, and just like kind of making some potatoes and doing all that sort of stuff, and it was just so much fun. It was really cool. So we kind of did that, and then we kind of came in and we watched Strictly, and then I think we just caught up on Castle Rock as well. So we finished the last 2 episodes of Castle Rock, which was absolutely incredible. It was a Stephen King show, and I loved it because at the end of Castle Rock, and I won't spoil it for anyone, but at the end of Castle Rock, it was such a great ending to these like 10 episodes that Nicola and I were just chatting about it for a good half an hour. So we were like talking each other through what was happening and how and what the kind of the repercussions of what happened meant and stuff like that. And I just love it when a TV show does that. And I just really love that. It was just so cool. It was really good. So that was kind of our weekend. But one of the things I forgot about last week, and surprisingly forgot about it, I can't remember because we had James on the pod, obviously, was that the week before EGX, when we didn't pod, Nicola and I went up to see James and the rest of the Rare crew at the Herbert. And if you remember, kind of like we did Herbert did a fantastic exhibition on kind of gaming and toys for other gear, and part of that was a really good exhibition around Rare, and it was just such a great exhibition, and it had lots of old games and memorabilia. There was a fudge hog there that I wanted to steal that I've now found out that it's James's. So next time I'm up in Bunnington, James better hide that, because I'm just like, so I'm going to go now and I'll have this. So there was some really good stuff. There was a whole room that was like dedicated to Sea of Thieves, and then after that we went through and there was a Q&A with the guys from Rare. So there was a panel from Rare, and got to just kind of, it was just a Q&A they were taking. I think it's going to go up on YouTube, and when it does I'll make sure that Lost Spark retweet it, but there was a whole bunch of questions from Twitter and from social media, and then there was a bunch of questions from the room, and it was just a really interesting insight, and not only into Sea of Thieves, but also into kind of the story of Rare and the background of Rare and how they're influenced. And it was a really good show. James did really well. James, he was the kind of chair. He was leading this Q&A, so he was taking all of the answers and answering some of the questions himself as well. But he did a really good job of doing the Q&A. So it was a really cool day. And then on top of all of that, so we had the Q&A, and after that I got to meet a Sparks fan who kind of came up to me whilst just at the end, while we were just waiting for James, because we were going to go for some cake, some coffee and cake. Obviously, you're with the Thomases. That's the only thing you do. So we're going to go. So while we were waiting, a guy came up to me, a chap by the name of John Rogers, came up to me and said, introduced himself and said that he'd been listening way back, and he did a real call out because he was like, I know what you look like because I've seen the live video that we did, and that was years ago. So he really ago. Exactly, he really has been like, an original Sparks fan. So hi John, I did say I would give you a shout on the pod. Apologies for missing it last week, but it was really good just to catch up with him and just talk about the games that he's playing and stuff like that. And unfortunately, because I was fortunately, I was having a beer, having cake with James. I couldn't join him for a beer because we were going to go for a beer afterwards. So unfortunately, but if I'm up in Coventry again and John and I kind of bump into each other, that'd be fantastic. And it was really nice just to kind of meet someone and get some really good feedback from the show.
Awesome, and I'm assuming you didn't get forcibly removed from the Q&A for asking too many Viva Pinata questions.
No, because Thomas, who says that he didn't see me, just ignored the raised hand of one Mr. Anthony Chesson. It was just like, so there was lots of people asking. Exactly, I was there. I was like, I had my questions ready, and he ignored me. He said he didn't see me, but I think he just ignored me. So, but it's fine. He bought me cake. It's fine. So yeah. But it was a really good Q&A, and I'm so glad that we kind of went up. And then on the way back, we kind of stopped in the Cotswolds. This was before you ruined it in Forza. We kind of stopped off in the Cotswolds on the way back, and then we stayed overnight, and then kind of made our way back to Tunwell. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I saw some of the photographs you put up of the Cotswold. It looked it's a stunning part of the country. I love playing this certain game that we'll get onto. It's just I think on Friday I just wanted to jump in the car and just go up there with the family and just go to Ambleside, because it's just like, I've been there, I look at that, I remember that. But yeah, it's a stunning part of the world, and it's I think sometimes being so far down south you forget to go up north a little bit and see the rest of the beautiful country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Nicola and I, we have there's a garden centre that's kind of a garden centre plus. It's amazing. And we like to go there, so it's just kind of like early morning on a Saturday, get up nice and early, jump on the motorway, stop off at a Starbucks, on the way, one of those roadside motorway Starbucks, and then just kind of get there for about kind of like 10, 11, and it's just so nice. It's really nice. We start kind of travelling down a certain, a road, I can't remember what road it is, M40, A40, but you just kind of go down this road, and then suddenly you start seeing Cotswold Stone. Obviously now I'm just going to want to drive through it because it gets me XP, but you just kind of see it and you just think, I'm in the Cotswolds, it's lovely, and it just, obviously Manny and Matt, they live around that area, they are kind of, I don't think in Forza they haven't gone as far as Cheltenham, but I'm sure there's lots of stomping grounds for Manny and Matt around that area. It's like Broadway, isn't it? Because like Broadway's one of the places you can go to in there. And I'm sure Manny and Matt and Wee Man and the guys have torn up there in real life rather than just in Forza right now.
Definitely, yeah. I think Steve's doing it in the virtual world as we speak, or as we pod.
So that's kind of what we've been doing. Let's just start talking about it. What have you?
Might as well.
Stu, I'll ask you. What have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Spider-Man. No. I have been playing Spider-Man, but no. I think to quote a famous advert from the 90s, happiness is found in a game called Forza.
Yes.
So both myself and yourself bought the Ultimate Edition.
Yep.
I like the early access. I wanted to take advantage of the early access, but I do like the fact that you get the VIP status, you get the points roll quicker, you get better score for it, but more importantly, I think I've said on the pod before, I know it's a Microsoft studio now, but I paid my Game Pass, but this is a game. I love this game. I love all the Forza games. So it is one of those things that I just wanted to, show my support, get those little extras, and but yeah, got back from London on Friday, probably about lunchtime. Pinged on the Xbox. Annoyingly, the Xbox had to do an update, which it didn't do, so that's fine. Luckily, I preempted the fact that something might have to update, and then just jumped straight into Forza, and oh my god, it is gorgeous. It's just, I mean, this could either be the longest pod in history, or this could be the shortest pod in history, because I can't think of anything other than gorgeous that can sum it up. Just the way it starts, the way it unfolds, and then all of a sudden, boom! It just unlocks. It's just brilliant. I mean, I know you jumped. Did you jump in at midnight? Because I think I saw you annoyingly unlocking roads whilst I was drinking red wine and getting drunk.
Absolutely, I did. Yeah, no, totally. Because James and I podded on Thursday, so we podded on Thursday, and I was sick, so I'd been sleeping a lot kind of throughout the day, and I was just my sleep pattern was just so off. So I ended up it was about 11:45, and I just thought, I might as well just wait. It was like I watched something.
It's nearly there.
Exactly, I watched something on YouTube. I think it might have been something Forza related. Like I say, it was all under paracetamols and lemon and honey. So I was kind of watching something, and I was like, well, it's 3 minutes to 12, so I thought I'll give it a try. Tried it. It was really funny because the first time I did it, it just said come back later, and I was like, oh, this isn't working. I'm going to go to bed. And I thought I'll try it one more time. I just gave it that one more try, and then it just started playing, and I was like, oh yes. And then I ended up staying up until about 1:15, so I ended up just like doing a big chunk, a nice hour's worth of driving around kind of there, and I just thought, I've got to go to bed. I need to fight this cold, and I've got to go to bed, and I had to get up. I was working from home on Friday, so I was like, I've got to get up, I've got to go to bed, and I went to bed and left it begrudgingly, because I could have probably just sat there and played it all night. But you're absolutely right, this game is incredibly stunning, excuse me. It is just like one of those games where you just sit and just look at it. Even today, today I was just messing around. I finished work, and I was just waiting for Nicola to come home. And I finished work, and I was just moseying around in my Warthog, and I went over the lip of this hill, and there was just this gorgeous scenery. Check my Twitter account at ChessmanUK, you'll be able to see it. There was a gorgeous scenery, and I was instantly just sat there. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So I just pressed up on the D-pad and just took a picture, and it's incredible. This game is just absolutely stunning. It's really funny, actually. Kind of over the weekend, I was playing Forza Horizon on the smaller TV for a bit, and Nicola was playing Spider-Man, and I was just looking at these two games just in awe of kind of where we are, kind of graphically, and both of them. But the thing I love about Forza Horizon 4 is not only just the graphics and the style, but it's all of the menus. It's all of the menus just seem, everything about it just seems so stylized and so right. It's just so on point on every kind of thing. When you fire up a menu, when you go into a wheel spin now, which is this ginormous screen, when you win a race, all of these things really just ooze quality and style, and I just love it. I just think it's such a fantastic game, and like you, I can't stop playing it at the moment.
It seems to be a bit more, although there is only one festival festival location, where obviously in Forza 3, I think there was, I don't know how many, there's about 3 or 4 or 5 festival locations.
Yeah.
It seems to be, when you're in the central festival, there's a few tunnels you go through that have got sort of like neon day glow lights and things like that. And it just seems to be this whole, like you say in the menus, there just seems to be this sort of like, I don't know, 90s rave sort of vibe to it, where everything's just colourful. And it's like, when I first played, I think it was a demo, I saw something and I saw like the big screens, these massive sort of 235 sort of screens that your character looks at when you finish a race, and your avatar comes up on you, get your points. I'm like, I'm not sure if I like that. But actually now they've got the wheel spins and they've got the super wheel spins, and it just brings a little bit more theatre to it, rather than it just being, oh, that's something I've got to do. And I think, throughout the game, I mean, I just, as you say, when you played it, I just find myself it's just that game where, I suppose, it's a little bit in a way like Spider-Man, where you can go off and hunt for some backpacks, or you can go off and do some research stations, and you can do other things. I think what I love about the Horizon Forza over the Motorsport Forza, which I still really enjoy, is that you can just, if you've got like 20 minutes, if Kate's putting Molly to bed and I'm like, I'll switch Forza on before I go and say goodnight and we have dinner, you can just go 20 minutes. Okay, what I can do in 20 minutes? I'll just go and find a couple of boards to knock over, or go and do a barn find. And the barn finds, maybe it's just because I'm British for this one, but the barn finds so far, without giving anything away to anybody, they are spot on, absolute spot on to the British car side of things. And I just think that, I unlocked one tonight, which was like, an iconic British sports car. And they've just been spot on as well. But I just love this game because you can just look at it, and I know the other night I think you were doing one of the showcases, I think the Halo showcase, and I was doing the summer Forzathon festival events, and you can just dib and dab, and you can do a bit of this and you can do a bit of that. And I've never really touched the Forzathon stuff before, but in this game it almost makes me want to get in there and do something different. And I look at the menu and I go, oh, if I buy a retro hot hatch, and if I do this, that, and this, I get these points, and I can buy my Sea of Thieves horn, like I had to go and get after seeing yours.
That's a good horn.
But yeah, I'm just loving it. I was looking at Twitter today, and I was looking at. It was either Playground or it was Microsoft that posted, obviously, that it was, we're proud to announce that it's now out in every time zone around the world.
Yeah.
And it annoys me, and I don't often do it, so I just jumped into the comments underneath, and just people were going, oh, it's boring, there's nothing to do. What? Yeah. Really? I switched my TV on tonight 25 minutes before we're podded, and I'm looking at it going, where do I start? Maybe they haven't unlocked the whole game yet, because it does sort of take a while to unlock it.
But the opening alone is incredible. When it takes you through the seasons right at the start, and it's just like, this is Forza, and it just goes through all of those. That is just stunning. If you're not hooked by that, first 15 minutes, you might as well just delete it anyway, but this game is that would rage me so much, because I do just love this game. One of the things you were talking about just there was like Forzathons. I love this. It's almost like playing with a group, which, by the way, the Lost Spark Car Club is now live, so you can join that. So the Lost Spark Car Club is open, it's public. I'll be tweeting some more. We can add pictures. I've given everyone the ability to add pictures if you want to add them to the club as well. But
awesome.
The Forzathon is like kind of the kind of Friday night kind of Forza nights, where suddenly you kind of pops up. I think it unlocks every hour, doesn't it? It's like, there's a Forzathon. Press X to know where it is, and it just says, right, here it is. It's kind of a mile away or so many kilometers away, and then suddenly you just see all of these round dots on your map, because there's about 60 people in your map, all just converging into this one place, and then obviously the the Forzathon starts, and then the Forzathon is 3 rounds where you've got to get, sometimes it's speed, sometimes it's drifting, sometimes it's a jump and stuff like that, and then suddenly you just have loads of ghost cars because you're not bumping into each other, so you just have loads of ghost cars just doing jumps and spinning around and doing these kind of like speed tests and stuff like that, and you just progress through these 3 levels, and then you just unlock a whole load of Forzathon points to then spend on awesome things like the Sea of Thieves car horn. And I've got
to say that I do like the fact of the you can't bump into each other in those scenarios, because
you wait till Friday night.
I think I played one of the summer events, which was the Lamborghini. I think you were in Gallardo's or something like that, and the whole thing was it was real players versus drivatars,
right.
and I think the people I was playing with, I don't think understood the fact of the idea is to beat the drivatars, because I just kept on being knocked left and right when I'm trying to get past them, but they're ramming you to stop you from getting past them. And you're like, no, you don't understand. The idea is we have to win the event. So stop focusing on me, push on. So, the annoying thing that I know, I can still hear the screams of people as we were playing Forza Horizon 3, where you go, I've missed a checkpoint. Oh no, I'm now at the back and I was at the front. And it's just like, that's fine, but it's really annoying when you're getting to a checkpoint and someone just rams you because they can see you coming upside because they're not playing in car. Yeah. So I think the Forzathon, the group events, is just brilliant. I think it opens up, and I'm actually finding now that I'm spending time doing these Forzathon events, because I know the season's going to change in 2 or 3 days. Because I don't want to miss those events. I don't know whether they come back round again. So I'm actually finding myself doing those events rather than focusing on the other things I need to do, the core game mechanics. But yeah, it just adds a whole new dimension to it.
That's a really good call, actually, because I forgot about those. Because you can, when you're in the main menu, you can select like summer event, can't you? And it says, I think the first one's like a Spectre one, isn't it? It's like a 007 one. So it can show you what those events are, and then you can. The one thing, and it's not criticism, but the one thing I would say is that right now, where I'm at in Forza Horizon, there is so much on my map. There's so much. I find that I have to filter it out. Just a tap of the RB. Because if you press, I think it's the hamburger button, you go into Forza Life. And Forza Life kind of shows you all of the different badges. And I had a quick squint at the achievements. So the achievements are like, get level 10 in dirt racing. Get level 10 in street races. And so what I've done now is I've filtered out everything but dirt racing. So right now I'm going to all of the dirt racing, and I'm like level 8 in the dirt racing, because I'm like, right, that's the way I play Forza games. It's like, I'm going to have fun when we all kind of catch up and we all kind of go online, and with the Forza Car Club now available on Xbox Live. So when we do that, it's going to be great fun. But right now I'm just like going, right, okay, what are the achievements that I can get? I'm going to go through those. So I'm just leveling myself up in like the dirt track racing at the moment. I'm like level 8 going through that, and then after that I'll do the street racing, because holy moly is Edinburgh gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Have you seen in the shops? I mean, like Spider-Man did that thing where when you're climbing up a building, you could creepily look inside the rooms and look inside the apartments. But Forza Horizon does that as well. I mean, there's like a bakery and there's all the bread that's there, and it just looks incredible. I was flying down the street in Edinburgh, and I just noticed it at the side. Like, I just caught the look, and I just stopped the car. It was like mid-race, and I just stopped the car, and I was like, "Oh my god, look at that!" I was looking for a Starbucks. I was just like, "Wow!" It's incredible.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's, I mean, I know you said to me, I think it's, have you done the Edinburgh Street Race? And I was like, no, I haven't got that far yet. And I then made it purpose that, right, I'm getting up to Edinburgh and doing a street race.
Yeah.
And it's divine. It's just like, it's windy, it's twisty. I found that I could buy the castle for 15 million,
wow.
Which now I forget about all the cars. I want to buy Edinburgh Castle, and there is actually an achievement if you buy Edinburgh Castle.
Yes. But I love those houses. I mean, are you buying the houses around the map? Because I find that when I jump into the game, I need to go, especially like because I'm doing all the dirt races, I need to go to the top half. So that's a long old drive, which I don't want to fast travel at the moment. I'm getting the fast travel boards, but I don't want to fast travel yet. So it's a long old drive. So what I've started doing is I've started buying the houses around the map. The first one, the Cotswolds house, was just gorgeous. Parking a car outside that was just lovely. But I've got a nice beachfront one now. I've got a nice thatched cottage. It's gorgeous. So doing that is just really cool. So it just enables me to then go, right, this is now I'm going to concentrate on this part of the map. So this is now my default house.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing to point out with the houses, without giving anything away, don't ignore the houses, because the houses give you unlock achievements, not achievements, that unlock a reward. So
wheel spins and stuff.
I think I was going to my Forzathon, my first Forzathon, and I just drove past this house in the middle of a field. In the middle of a woodlands. And I literally thought, let's have a look at it. It's not big, so it's not going to be expensive, about $500,000 or something like that. And I clicked on it, and it basically came up saying, if you buy this house, it's $500,000, and you unlock the skill song. Which, for all the other games, I think it's just giving it to you, or when you get so far in the game, you get it. So now I unlock the skill song thing, which means that, for anybody who's used to the game, means that you get, double or triple points. So you can just take your car off field, go crazy, jump in, kangarooing, as they called it in the Forza 3, and you just get your skill points massively up. So, don't ignore the houses. Do buy them around the map like you've just said. But you can unlock some serious stuff. Some fun stuff, some clothing, some horns. But also you can unlock some advantages for yourself in the game. But yeah, I think it's just a nice. I was caning it down the road the other day before the treasure map came out for buy, and I just quickly saw this for sale sign. It's like, slam the anchors on, put it into reverse back, press X, I think it was, and then you have the old the person from the Horizon Festival go, well, this house is in the middle of nowhere, you've got lovely gorgeous views, and you're like, yep, I'll buy that, thank you very much.
Just give it to me. Yeah, I mean, it's really good that the treasure map has come out. I don't know if you were like me. I bought the treasure map because obviously you do. Yeah, but I bought the treasure map. I must say, before I bought the treasure map, the barn finds were just as easy, because when you kind of had the rumour popped and it said there's a barn around here, again, similar to the Forzathon, suddenly you saw lots of circles in that part of the map. So you just kind of pulled up to where it was, and suddenly you saw a lot of, so it was either that there was a bonus board or it was where the houses were. So it was just so easy to say, like, okay, that's where it is. But then I got the map, and I bought the treasure map on Xbox Live, and I was like, excellent. And then I went back into Forza, nothing. So I rebooted Forza, still nothing. And I'm like, oh, what is up? Why isn't it working? I was like, damn you, Playground Games, why isn't it working? And then I noticed there was a little kind of press Y to reveal all. And then I was just about to message you going, it's not working. The treasure map is out and it's not working. And I was like, I need to just read the screen prompt. And then, like I say, you pressed it and it just was crazy. There's like 561 roads, isn't there? And like there's is there 200 boards? Is it like 200 bonus boards?
Yeah,
isn't it?
200 bonus boards. Yeah, 500 odd roads. I mean, the roads, to be honest, I know you messaged me the other night going, how have you unlocked all these roads? And apart from the occasional looking at...
I'm ahead of you now, by the way.
Oh, are you? Oh, I looked tonight. I didn't think you were. Oh, I have to have a look now. Right, pod is ended. I'm off. But no, it was... I was just playing the game. And yeah, I'd cast an eye, and if I could see that an area was still greyed out, I would just flick to the map, see how far I've got to go down the road to fill it, and then donut it and come back again. So, but... I don't know, actually. I know we always usually have our little bit of a game about who unlocks the roads first, but I don't know. There's just something about this game that I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying it in a different way. If you were to say to me, is it better than Horizon 3? I don't think I can answer that question, because Horizon 3 was I don't know, it's the same but different. I think this one I don't feel the urge to quickly go and unlock things. I mean, like I did I don't think it's a spoiler because people know it's there. I did the Halo showcase tonight, and then I've got one more after it where we race a jet. I didn't feel the urge to just think, oh, it's there, I've got to go and do it, because I'm like, I'm busy doing this at the moment, or I'm not up in Edinburgh, I'm down in Ambleside, and I'm just sort of like you, really. I'm finding I'm dealing with it in areas, but the ones that I have had a bit of a play around, I went into the Quarry, where, if you've not done it, where you go into the James Bond Aston Martin, the DB10, I think it is, but infected in those quarries, or in some of the bits and pieces where they do the infected games on that course, I think is going to be absolute giggle on a Friday night spark.
Yes.
Yeah. Likewise, drag strips. What is it? Drive as fast as you can in a car straight, turn around and come back again. I can see many an evening, especially if you can crash into each other, many an evening you spent going up and down a drag strip trying to get as fast as you can. It's just, it's just got so much to do.
I have noticed that some of the bonus boards are very cheekily placed.
Yes.
There's some where I was just looking the other day going, how am I supposed to get to this? How am I supposed to get this high? How am I supposed to get to the top of a church? I think is one of them. It's just like, how am I supposed to do that? And it's just, it really made me laugh a couple of times. I just thought, no, that's a Friday night where we all just try and work it out. And I think right now I'm enjoying it solo, because I don't think there was a time when you and I were, apart from there was a little bit of time I think on Friday, but I was very aware that you might be a little bit heavy-headed. I probably didn't want my voice shouting at you in your headphones, but there was like, we haven't really, but I'm looking forward to, right now I'm just doing that solo play, and like you, just enjoying it. It's just doing these Forza Life things, and like trying to unlock all the masteries for one car, which is my Warthog, and then so every now and then I just, whenever I'm driving around, I get like 10 masteries, so I just go, right, or 10 skill points, I go, right, flip to the Warthog, and then I'm just like applying that, because it's so easy just to deliver the car. But I'm looking forward to when we do go online, with all the other guys and anyone who's in the car club, just to kind of have those evenings of just chuckling and just kind of doing all those races. But right now, this game is giving me so much, and it's just, and I've done my normal thing where I kind of like Sunday before we kind of did, I was just listening to a podcast and just driving around, and it's just, I did find that I'm kind of getting used to the songs already. So what I'm doing is I'm actually kind of turning the radio right down, and I just have the HomePod playing, Prince or whatever, and I found I'm with Sky, because I'm with Apple Music, so I kind of have Apple Music, but Sky, they're giving away 6 months free Spotify Premium, so as part of the kind of Sky VIP, and it's just being, I think they're integrating Spotify within Sky Q, so they're giving away kind of like Spotify Premium for 6 months. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to fire up Spotify on the Xbox and then go into Forza and just do that and just kind of play. So you still kind of got the sound effects of Forza, but your music is just coming from Spotify, on the same things, and it just works really well. And then obviously if you had your headphones on, you could do that, and it's just because I'm just really enjoying the whole game. The only thing I would say is that it seems really difficult to add the cars that you've been given to your garage. I always I don't know if that's me.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I've unlocked, they gave you like 3 cars the other day. They gave you all the James Bond cars. They gave you a car pack. And all I would like to do is go, just add all those to my garage. I'll take the default colour. I don't mess around too much with that. Only kind of, I did look to see if there was a SpongeBob for my Warthog, but there isn't yet. I just thought, if I want to customise them, I can customise them later on. Just add all of those to just put them into my garage, and that's the one thing that's annoying me at the moment. So much so that I haven't tested all the James Bond cars, because I go, I've got to go there, and then you go there and you select one, then you choose the colour, then it takes you out of that, and then you've got to go back in. So the one thing that I'm kind of have a gripe about, unfortunately, is that it's just so hard. Just they give you all of these awesome cars. So if you unlock a car in a wheel spin, it goes straight to your garage. But the DLC cars, or the car pack cars, they just seem to be cumbersome to kind of add to your garage, and that's kind of.
As you said, you've got to. it's like tonight. I think it was tonight. They said, "Oh, here's two new cars."
Right.
And you've almost got to do like you've got to get a pen and paper, write down the model, write down the name, go into go to the festival, go to your house, find go into the auto show, find it, add it to garage, go through that whole fact of it shows you designs, you press Y to choose your colour. But yeah, I completely agree with you that actually there's two things there's probably three things. Two things I really finding better about this Forza game, and so far that one thing, that same as you, I'm finding annoying.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to go, hi Stuart, here's your new cars. They'll be available in your garage. Press Y to add them in their default colours. Then bang, done. And then I can go and look at them, play with them, and I can do my designs. The thing I'm liking, which I think is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you do like a James Bond event, like one of the 007 events you did in the Aston Martin, when you finish the race, even if you started let's say you drove there in a Bugatti, then when you did the Aston Martin, when you finish the race, you're in the Aston Martin. So, and it's like, okay, but I want my Bugatti back. So now I've noticed with this game, I think it's the first time they've done it, where I can go deliver a car to my location, and then it goes, would you like to get in that car? Yes, I'd like to get in that car. Because in previous games, I believe, you always had to go to a festival, and you always had to go to your garage and get in the car, and then you could drive off. Because I can remember doing it lots in Forza Horizon 3. So I think that's brilliant. And the other thing is that I think everybody unlocks it quite early on, which is the very shiny gold Pagani Zonda, the Forza Special Edition.
Yes.
And I'm actually finding that although I like that car, I'm actually finding I'm racing around more in the other cars, like you're doing the Warthog. I'm racing around in my car. But like I spent a while, I did a race the other week, which is an off-roader sort of buggy sort of thing.
Yes.
And I found that actually I really enjoy just driving that around.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, while I'm in that, I might as well go and do some dirt racing. And I'm finding that the feel from each car, especially in that initial game, that initial sort of 4 or 5 hours before you really unlock the game, I'm finding that I really feel the difference on the surfaces. So when you come out of winter into spring, or when you go into winter, you can feel the feedback in the controller when you're in the deep snow.
Yes.
And then when you go into spring and everything's a bit squidgy and squashy, you can feel that the car's taking you left and right a bit more, because it's almost like if you were in real life where you've hit a deep pocket of mud. So I think just for that, it's brilliant. But I mean, I was listening to a podcast tonight, and I think it was IGN. It's the highest rated highest rated driving game that IGN have ever given.
Wow! What did they give it?
9.6 out of 10, I think it was.
Wow!
I mean, I like you, really. I'm not a huge rating person. Because like, what do you do it out of? Are you doing it out of 10? Are you doing it out of 5? And I like to discover these things for myself. And ratings is based on what that person thought. But I completely, so far, without what they're going to do in DLC, but so far I'm just loving it. And yeah, it is a very different but very enjoyable Forza game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's really. I mean, two things for you. One, just because I'm curious. One, what name did you pick? When they kind of say a name, what name did you pick?
Oh, what they call you?
Yes.
I just kept it as Stuart.
Oh, so you have a Stuart? There's a Stuart.
I have a Stuart. Yeah, I think in Forza Horizon 3 it was Buttercup.
Right. Yeah, I've got Munchkin. I always have Munchkin because it's really funny when they're like, "Hey, Munchkin," and I'm just like, I love this because they don't have an Anthony, they have an Anthony, so they kind of pronounce it. And even though if it was, I do like when I go to the US and they call me Anthony, and it's just lovely. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. But I always choose Munchkin. So it's just really funny. So every now and then Nicola's like chuckling away when it's just like, "Hey, Munchkin, your car's ready." And then I loved at the start as well when they kind of said like, right, what do you want? Do you want performance or frame rate? Have you kind of dipped between the two? Have you had a look at those? Because I haven't yet. I just went straight for performance and haven't kind of changed from that.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I've done performance as well. And the only thing I keep on meaning to flip over to frame rate, if I could say it right, is I have noticed on a few occasions the horizon generating as I'm driving towards it.
Right. Okay.
I've noticed that on a couple of occasions, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I've not had that before. And then I've also noticed that coming out of the game, like with Xbox games, you press the home button, you come out of them, and as long as you don't launch another game, you can go straight back into them. I found on a few occasions when I've gone to go back into it, it's either took ages to get back into it, or it's just given me a blank screen and sat on a blank screen, and I've had to launch, Master Chief Collection, because that was on my home screen, wait for that to flash up, then go back in and launch Horizon again, which takes a little bit of time. So yeah, that's my only downside to that at the moment. But
so you can't just hover over the icon and hit the hamburger button and go quit. From the main screen, you can just hover over the icon of what's playing, press your hamburger button all the way to the bottom, quit, and then it just quits. Because I noticed a couple of times where I've turned off the Xbox, gone, right, I'm going to bed, turned off the Xbox, and then when I went back in, it was like, connecting you to, and it was, so I just was like, oh, right, okay, this is obviously, bear in mind, we were playing it before it was released, so they could have been tinkering at the back and doing whatever they need to do. But I just, even, like as I was saying before, over the weekend, I was playing it while Nicola was playing Spider-Man. I was playing on my 1080p TV, but on an Xbox One X, and that looked stunning. It looked amazing. It was just, obviously it didn't look the same as the 4K HDR, but it still looked incredibly impressive. And I was thinking, maybe when I'm on this 1080p TV, I should do frame rate rather than performance. But I might have a play around, like in the week while I'm playing, I might just kind of have a bit of a flip-flop and see what I get. But running on a 1080p on an Xbox One X, this game is stunning. So, and then obviously when you take it to the 4K HDR, it's just even more so. And kind of similar to you, like we were saying about the seasons, I find that there was a couple, I think I was running the Gauntlet, which is like a really big kind of dirt trial, and in that it's got a couple of jumps, and the jumps lead into puddles, like big puddles, and you almost can feel your car just braking in a puddle. And I'm like, how have you done that? How have you done that? And it's just like, there's been a couple of times where I've just gone, just like chuckled out loud and said, I love this game so much.
Well, they have done the streams across the road, haven't they? So there's a few where you go into that, and it is almost like if you've ever been unfortunate to nearly aquaplane or hit deep water on a road, and you could just feel. I think what I'm going to do is once the cinema room's done, I think I'm buying myself a gaming chair and a Logitech steering wheel and all that lot, because I think this game, I can get the force feedback on a steering wheel, I think it's going to be brilliant. But it's just, I don't know, it's so British. I'm just driving around looking at the street signs. The roadwork signs, the little barriers, the plastic barriers they put out around roadworks, and it's just like they're just finding these little sort of like nuances to Britain and putting it in the game. The classic, like the post box and things like that. That's a bit of a cliche, but there's just tiny little things they're putting in, which as I'm driving around, I'm going, they've just got that perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So even driving up the M63, I think it is, which is, virtually every racing game's got that motorway going through the middle of it, and I just spent half an hour flying up and down there in a retro. I think it was a retro Honda Integra Type R, which was souped up to S2 or S1 because I was trying to get some Forzathon points, and I just found myself just racing it, turning around, coming back again, turning around, coming back again, and that's what I just love about this game. It's just like, and even when you went into the tunnel, the audio, I had my headphones on because I think I did about 5 hours solid on the Sunday, and so I didn't annoying anybody. I just put my cans on. And even just when you went from outside to through the tunnel, you could just hear the sound change as if you were in a tunnel. And it's little things like that which I think have just just as you said, the views, going on the beach, just seeing those different things. I want to go and explore places.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find the great thing about that, especially kind of unlocking the treasure map, is that those bonus boards push you that way, don't they? Because you go onto that beach front, which is along the side, and then suddenly you see that there's a couple of bonus boards or some fast travel boards. So you just want to then start going. Have you raced to the lighthouse yet? Have you seen the lighthouse?
Yes, yeah.
Stunning. It's just like, I was like, oh, I love this game so much. I just want to start playing it. But that's it. I mean, I've had a couple of times, I think, over the weekend, Friday night and Saturday night, where I'm making myself go to bed. I'm actually kind of going, right, I've got to go to bed now.
Yeah.
At one point, oh God, I will say this and then we can move on. But at one point, it was so funny. On Saturday night, I was playing. It was probably about 2 a.m. in the morning, and I fell asleep playing. So I'm playing, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and my eyes shut, and the next thing I know, I hit a tree. So I had headphones on, and I hit a tree, and it was the worst way to wake up ever, because I was in a warthog. It's like most of my dreams. I'm in a warthog, and I just slam into this tree, and then suddenly I was just like, where the hell am I? And it was just so funny. It just really made me laugh.
I think the thing is, the anybody who's not played the game, first of all, play it. It's worth your Game Pass, and if you hunt around, you can get offers probably on 3 months of Game Pass. Play it, because even if you're not a driving fan, it is just such a visual spectacle, especially if you're lucky enough to have a 4K TV and a One X. I think I was saying to Steve today, which was that when you do go into the game, it sort of took me about 4 or 5 hours play, because you'll go through the 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden, you get on the roster, as they call it, and then the world just unlocks. And then if you want to go hunting for the boards, one by the map, because it's only $1.99, but there's a few I found on there where one of the cars is a very, very small little tiny car, which was once on a Top Gear episode with Jeremy Clarkson driving it around the BBC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've got to buy that car, because I found a couple of boards that you can't get a standard car between the house and the shed to get the board, and it doesn't matter how hard you hit the building, it ain't going to move. Yeah. So there's a few boards on there I sort of mentally marked and gone, right, when I get that little car, I'm going to go back and get those boards, because I think there's actually an achievement for winning a race in that said car as well. So
oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's one of the last achievements on the Chivo list. But yeah, I mean, I'm exactly the same as you. I've sat here like, I've got to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning because I've got to drive to Cambridge, and it's now 10:30, and I'm like, and I'm wired because I've been playing computer games, so I know I can't go to sleep, and I'm just like, you've got to stop. Oh, look, that's just pops. Let's go and play that. No, stop. Put it down. I need to have some type of family filter on it, which just switches my Xbox off at like 10 o'clock on a work day, on a school night, just so I have to go to bed.
But I'm just exactly the same. Nicola's like, it's so funny. Even like we'll sit down watching TV or watching a movie, then she'll go up to a blue, and I was just like, okay, flash me when you're done. And she's just like flashing the lights because I'm downstairs. Just like, damn it, she blued really quickly. I was like, your blue should take longer, and it was just like, and it was just so just playing it, and that's the great thing about it. You can just like pick up and play. And I must admit, like I say, kind of going through the driver tires, obviously are great fun as always. I did notice that we're going into some races. There are options for rival, co-op, and versus as well. So versus, I think you can leave a time on a board, but there's co-op as well. So like I say, I think once we've kind of started, we've unlocked and we're kind of in a happy place, we should probably jump on and play a bit of the co-op, because I'd be really interested to see what these things are. Even the showcases, you can do co-op as well. Yeah. So I bet they'll be great fun. But
there is. I haven't looked at the adventure side of it as yet, because there are co-op adventures on it and online adventures. So, but I think it's. I think the adventures we'll probably do on a Friday night with like the Lost Spark Car Club, because that's kind of driving to one place, doing a race, and kind of doing all of that sort of stuff. So we'll kind of get Manny to set those up. He's always really good at setting those up. Actually, we had those. We had those in. I remember now. We had those in 3, didn't we?
Yes.
Because I remember it's like, now drive to your destination, and then we were all ramming each other. You saw Manny going across a field while the rest of us are sticking to the road, and it's. But yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah, it's just such a game, and I think. I think it's just a different game because I think we're both playing Spider-Man at the moment quite a bit as well, and I think what's good about both the games is that sometimes at the moment I'm sitting down playing Forza, but I know that one night I'm going to go, actually I just want to play a bit of Spider-Man, swing around New York, and I think although they're completely different games on completely different platforms, they're very similar in the way that you can just fire them up, do what you want, and then there's something different to do. But they seem manageable in respects of that you're not over, like you said with Horizon, you can just filter the map out. With Spider-Man, it's unlocking things as you go through it. So I think you can just sit and go, I'm going to go and fight some crime in Spider-Man, or I'm going to go and do some bonus boards in Horizon. And I think that's what's great about it. You can choose to follow the story. Have you done any of the stunts? The movie set stunts in Horizon yet?
I did the opening one. No, I did the opening one. I did 2. I think I've done 2 so far because they give you a house, don't they, for doing
That's
one?
It.
And then I did the next one after that. But I was just But then I was just like, I suddenly, like I say, I looked at the achievements and then I was like, right, that's what I'm focusing on. So I'm doing all those dirt races. I say, like I say, have you increased the difficulty? Because I got a message the other day going, you're beating all these guys. Do you want to increase the difficulty? And I just thought, right now, no, because I tell you what. Stuart Mill, I don't know what he's fed his driver tar, but he is constantly overtaking me all the time. It's just like, literally, it's like I'm beating him by like 100th of a second. It's annoying. I was going to tweet him. I might tweet him actually because I'm just like, whatever he's feeding his driver tar is just annoying the crap out of me. So it's just like every time I just look in my rear view, like do the rear view thing, and it's just like he's there. It's just like every single turn. And if you fluff up a turn, he's just like boom, takes over, and I'm just the amount of times I've gone, damn you, Stuart. It's either you for getting more boards and more roads, or him for overtaking me. It's just it's killing me.
It's funny how they throw, because it made me chuckle the other day, because I think there was one race where I was racing you, and I think you were. And I mean, there's people
crashing
on there. No, you were racing. You were racing really well, so I knew it was your driver tar and not you.
Yeah, it's AI.
But it's like I was doing an off-roader race the other day, and I can't think what I was in, and then the person at the front was Sheep, and Sheep was in a Land Rover Defender, and I'm like, that fits actually. I can just see him with his big beard in a Land Rover, racing at the front of a course.
Yes.
But it's just brilliant. It throws up, and you're sitting there going, "Damn you, Sheep, get out of my way!" Or Jessen, stop throwing the anchor down. No, it's the wrong game.
I get that a lot.
I mean, we could go on for hours about this, but it is a brilliant game, and it's only we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday as we're podding, so it's been out for 5 days, and I feel like I've not scratched the surface. And I think you said the other day, this is the game that I'm going to be dipping in and out of, over Christmas, dipping into the other, the battlefields and things like that. But it's the game I wanted it to be, and I could say that's without any DLC if they do like they did last time, and maybe throw London in, please, and a few things like that. But yeah, it's a brilliant game.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fantastic. I totally agree. Have you got anything else to say on Spider-Man, or should we jump into the news?
Not really. Awesome game again, but really, really enjoying it, and it's a lot cooler this week with me not wearing my Spider-Man mask as I pod.
A lot less scarier.
Yes.
And so, I mean, for me, I tried best efforts to kind of finish, but the cold kind of got the best of me, but to try and finish the story of Spider-Man before Forza came out. But now I'm just going to try and do that before Red Dead comes out. Red Dead comes out the end of this month on the 25th. So I'm going to try and finish Spider-Man and then go back and mop up the map when the DLC comes out. So I'll do the DLC, do a little bit of that. But like I say, right now, Nicola's absolutely loving it. So she's playing it. So, but Red Dead, I think I want to get the story done before Red Dead, just so I can kind of say, I've done the story.
For me, I mean, I wasn't sure. I don't know. I'm not sure about Red Dead. I wasn't going to jump into it, and I still don't know whether I will jump into it on day one. I don't think it's a day one game for me.
Right.
But listening to Red Dead Radio, I don't know if you've been listening to Jared Petty's Red Dead Radio. He does as a podcast.
I haven't listened to that.
Yeah, I listen to that, and I listened to a few people talking about the people who sat down and got to play it, and it just sounds brilliant. I think there was I think it was Jared was saying about there was a case where he was playing the demo in front of people and he went up to something that had been killed and he was just about to pick it up and he noticed a possum next to it. And the possum was doing exactly what a possum does and play dead. So as he leant down to pick up this dead deer or whatever it was, this possum just jumped up and scared the jeebus out of him. And I think just the tiny things that they've looked at in the game, like your facial hair grows, your beard grows. If you want to grow your beard back, you've got to grow your beard back. You can't just put it back on. I just think for me that is really. I just want to see how that works.
Yeah.
So I think I might sit and listen to you guys because I know is it Steve who's really that's his game of the year already sort of thing. He's can't wait for that to come out. So I think I see what will happen with the WhatsApp group, and then I might jump into it. I know it's not going to go down in price, so I've got no chance of that happening.
No, there's no point sitting on this waiting for it to go because then the multiplayer will come out. It'll probably get even more expensive.
Yeah. and GTA hasn't come down in price in however 5 years that's been out. I don't think so. So no, I think that'll be another one. I think for me, I'm looking forward to Battlefield. That's my Christmas game, especially as COD's not got a single player in it. And then I think for the rest of the year, it's gonna be Forza. It's gonna be finishing up Spider-Man, and then if things open up, and then obviously people have been talking today about Assassin's Creed, and that's another one I usually try and do, but I haven't even played. Origins yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to jump into Odyssey straight away, but my God, we've got a lot of stuff to do before and after and around Christmas, and that's not just eating mince pies and drinking eggnog.
Yes, I mean that's it. I mean, and then kind of into next year, there's already big games coming out, isn't it? Like February 22nd is a big day for lots of different games, so it keeps going of goodness.
Definitely.
So right, let's jump into the news. Don't forget you can rate, review and subscribe to this very podcast for free on iTunes and also on YouTube. So in this week's news section, Google announced Project Chrome, Warner Brothers have sprung many leaks, and Pokemon wants you to stay indoors. But Stu, the first piece of news is with you.
I picked up on this one earlier today on Kotaku's UK site, and I heard a few other people talking about it. And obviously, it's rumoured that Xbox are going to be doing sort of a streaming service for maybe a non-hard drive based next-gen Xbox. But Google announces Project Steam, which will let you play games on the Chrome browser. So Google's long-awaited Yeti streaming service is now official, as the company today announces Project Stream, a service that will allow you to stream games to Google Chrome internet browsers. The first game supported is going to be Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it launches on Friday. Quoting, we've been working on Project Stream, a technical test to solve some of the biggest challenges of streaming, Google said on a blog today. For this testing, we're going to push the limits for one of the most demanding applications for streaming and a new blockbuster video game. Anyone who accepts into the beta, unfortunately I think it's only the States, will be able to play Odyssey in their browsers on their laptop desktops starting Friday. Google said they are looking for people with internet speeds of 25 megabits per second or higher. Mm-hmm. So at the moment it's looking like Google are leading the way. Obviously we don't know what Microsoft might be doing in the background, but it looks like they're going for it full kilter with a current generation game playing on a Chrome browser. I think it's going to be very interesting. I'm just slightly annoyed it's US only.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this sounds fantastic. I know obviously there's been kind of failed streaming services. You have to look at like PS Plus and things like that. But I think the technology evolves. Working in IT, and we're kind of moving a lot of our stuff to cloud-based. We're looking at AI. We're looking at all of that, and you kind of just see the progression. When a vendor comes back with version 2, 3, 4, you can see the progression. So I think the streaming it's a very interesting way of playing. And if you haven't got the money to buy a full beefy PC or an Xbox One X or whatever, then having the option of just streaming, almost subscribing to a Netflix style thing and streaming it via a Chrome browser, that's fantastic. That just sounds, I'd love to see, and I don't know if there is there any kind of images or movies of this playing on a browser so you can see what the quality's like?
They've got on the Kotaku site, I can see here, I won't click on it because it'll probably take over my audio, but they have got Project Stream official gameplay captured. So that's on Kotaku's UK site. So I haven't looked at it yet, but it looks like a YouTube link to it. But I mean, I think this is great. I mean, I think that, especially if you don't need that beefy PC, because I think it was ironically Forza Horizon 3. I bought a Microsoft Surface Book Pro for work, for business. And I thought, that'll be okay for playing a few games. So I went away to a hotel for work. I was down there for a week because we were working on site. It just could not run it at all.
Wow.
It was juddering, it was jinking around, and I'm looking at it going, this thing was like £1,900 or something like that. And I'm looking at it going, I really wish I had just bought a gaming PC. A cheaper gaming PC now, because it's now stopping me from doing it. I generally take a 4G router with me wherever I go, because I sometimes work on building sites that have no internet, and trying to get firmware downloads to happen when there's no internet is pretty impossible. So I don't have to rely on hotel Wi-Fi. So actually, yeah, I mean, I've got sort of 60 megabits download speed on my 4G router before. So if I've got that and my nice shiny new MacBook Pro, and I've got my Chrome browser, and I can, just sit in a hotel room or, be on holiday and play that, but playing, a blockbuster title like Assassin's Creed, then yeah, awesome. Cannot wait.
Because you have to think about it, if you could then play that on a Chrome browser on a PC, you can then play that on an iPad. You can then play that on a Surface. You can then play that on a tablet. The options become. You just have more devices that will be able to play these blockbuster games, and as you said at the top of that news item, Microsoft are looking into this as well. So if that means that you go away on holiday, you're on site, you're in a hotel, you just take your Surface with you, but now you're streaming Forza Horizon 5. You're now streaming that, and you can now play that, and you're not limited by the horsepower of your tablet.
And I think if you step away from the Google one and you look back at Microsoft, actually, I hope they do it as a double console. I'm hoping they do a big beefy takeover from the X. So it's in my lounge. It's got a big hard drive in it. It's got 8K graphics or whatever. It's got the awesome graphics. But then maybe I've got a box the size of an Apple TV that I can shove in my laptop bag with my 4G router and my laptops, and I can take that away. And then I've got the option of playing a Chrome based game, or I can dip in and play my Xbox. And especially if they go down the route of the play anywhere, so it picks up my progression from Forza Horizon 5 or Forza Motorsport 8, but I'm just streaming it now rather than playing it at home on the big screen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think of that. That's amazing. That's kind of that's obviously what Phil is hinting at, and I hope that's the way they go. And and also that the people like Sony and Nintendo, we don't really need it with Nintendo because they've got a nice little Switch, so it doesn't matter. Imagine being able to stream Assassin's Creed on a Switch. Well, that actually happened in Japan, didn't it? They have streaming. Ubisoft have like streaming only versions of games. I think it's even Ubisoft or Capcom. But yeah, imagine being able to do that. It'd be fantastic.
I think the thing they've just got to be wary about is, and I think what they are wary about is broadband speeds. I mean, some of the
25
Japan,
meg's quite high, isn't it? 25 meg is for a hotel. You're very lucky to get kind of above 10 sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on fibre at home, and I'm only getting 17 because I'm about. I know exactly now. I'm 1.4 kilometres away from the exchange. So and although
have you measured it yourself? Is that what you did? You did you went out with one of those clickers, and you were like,
no, we came back off holiday, and we noticed we had some noise on the line, and so we got our OpenReach to come and look at it, and it turns out that our house is only about 7 years old, but they don't use external connections anymore. They used to run the cable to an external connection outside your house and then wire the internal connection to it.
Right.
Now they wire it straight into the internal connection. So we found that was a bit faulty, and he ping tested it, for want of a better way, a bit like I can do with a fluke test with a network. And he said, yeah, I can see here the exchange is 1.4 kilometres away from your house.
Wow.
But the best news, deviating slightly but staying on broadband, was I did a show the other week up at XL, came back to my office, and I looked at my office and went, ooh, what's that? And I looked up of it, and BT have now wired fibre to premises at my office, and the exchange is right outside my office front door.
Holy moly! You're going to be living in your
office
now,
man.
aren't you?
I'm just like, if they offer me, if they can offer me 100 meg, 200 meg, you won't see me. The pod will be coming from the cinema. I'll be sleeping on a black mattress in the back of the cinema, and I'll just be coming home for the occasional meal when I'm fed up of ordering. Well, actually, no, they don't deliver to Roberts Bridge, so I'll have to come home for food. But no, I think that's it. I think the only thing we've got to be careful about this sort of stuff is broadband speeds, because it varies. I mean, I still go to customers now who are just not even getting half a meg. And I still get daily questions. Can we do it over satellite? Can we do it over this and that? So I think this is great, but I think it's they've got to have to prove this concept. So don't expect it to happen overnight.
No, like I say, it's very early testing, and they're just getting kind of beta testers in the US. I'd like to see that go international, and that would just it'd be awesome just to jump in and have and see what it's like, and see how it's faring. But that's fantastic, awesome. Right, the next piece of news with me, and it's oh my god, it's bloody exciting news. And that is over the weekend and very early yesterday, there started to be some leaks. So Warner Brothers, I think Warner Brothers had a session with some almost like a focus test session, because after that we've suddenly started getting a lot of rumours about a couple of upcoming games from Warner Brothers. The first one, which obviously sends me giddy, is that Rocksteady, that their next game is going to be Justice League game. So this will be kind of set in the same Arkham universe, but it's potentially called Justice League Crisis. So a Crisis is very much in that DC realm. A lot of their comic books or the big graphic novels and the big crossovers are always like Crisis on the Infinite Earth or Crisis on on a New World, or there's lots of these different Crisis books. So by naming Justice League Crisis fits quite nicely. And by all accounts, if you go to justiceleaguecrisis.com, that's a Warner Brothers hosted website as well, which probably would be based on what I just said, but still, let's get hyped and let's get excited. So this game is being called Justice League Crisis, and according to the source from this leak, that's the title, and it's expected for release, and this is the kicker, it's expected for release in 2020, but it's going to be released on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Scarlet. So they're all ready. Okay. They're going to skip this generation, which irks me slightly. But they're going to. I'm not going to get one next year, but they're going to skip this generation, and they're going to go straight for the next generation. So the report says, and this is an article that was on Games Radar, is that the report calls Justice League Crisis, Justice League : Crisis, a single-player / co-op game where players will be able to freely switch between a roster of characters, including Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, yes, Cyborg, and Aquaman. And there'll also apparently be a multiplayer component to the title outside of the main story. And players will apparently, there's lots of apparently in this blog, apparently be able to explore a range of cities, all slightly bigger than Gotham City in Arkham Knight. So you'll have Metropolis, you'll have Keystone, and probably some others. So what's the one from Flash?
No.
It's not Coast City. It's I get there because it's something Jitters is the coffee shop. I'll kick
Jitters
myself.
Coffee shop. Yeah.
That's
going to annoy me now. People are screaming at the pod as we're listening.
So other details leaked include the identity of the main villain, which would be Starro, and gameplay being similar to that of Arkham, but more refined and opened. So that is just incredible. I mean, we all kind of gathered that Rocksteady were making a game, that they were making a DC game, but the fact that they are kind of making this Justice League game set in the Arkham universe, so we'll have that same kind of stylized. I woke up and I saw this morning and I was just incredibly happy.
Starling City, is that correct?
No, Star City.
Star City.
Yes.
Oh, that's Google have got that word because they've got Starling City and Central. Central City is where Arrow is, isn't it?
Could be. I don't like Arrow. He's a douchebag.
Oh yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, you don't like him, do you? No, I mean, Arkham games were brilliant. I mean, and I'm not as geeky as you. I mean, if you could see him on Skype now, he's practically turning red with excitement. And 2020 isn't that far away. I have a friend of mine who's just been appointed to a board,
right?
And you read the press release, and it's just like she will be out. She's on the board till 2020, and you think, my God, that's ages away. And I'm like, no, that's not ages away. That's not long at all. So I think that I love the Arkham games. They just were I don't suppose it's the same as Spider-Man. They were ones I just spent hours and hours playing. And I did try and play. What's the beat 'em up they had?
Injustice.
Injustice, yeah. I did buy that, or I think it was cheap, and I played that, and I actually found that quite hard, but I did quite enjoy that, playing the DC character. So I think if Spider-Man's anything to go by, the Arkham Batman's are anything to go by, I think that there's a big call for these games, these open world games, Red Dead and games like that. So I think brilliant. I cannot wait to see what happens. Maybe get some E3 stuff next year and see where we go with it. Yeah, I can't wait.
I mean, I'm hoping, and what I'll do is I'll skip to the other piece of Warner Brothers news because that's just as exciting. What I'm hoping is that maybe, especially from the next one, which was today, I think it's been pulled down now, but I'll see if I can put it in the show notes. But today, a 1 minute and 20-second trailer of the new Harry Potter RPG was leaked on Reddit. Again, it was Reddit, and we'll go into more details, but I'm hoping that maybe that trailer and maybe one for Justice League Crisis maybe go at the Achilles. We're kind of a month and a bit away from the Game Awards, so maybe, and that's when Rocksteady announced a lot of the Arkham games. They announced them there. Mark Hamill did an introduction to Arkham. It might have been Arkham City, or it might have been Arkham Origins, but he kind of gave that kind of, and he just, so they have a track record of kind of coming to the Keighley, so maybe we're going to get that. But the other one that I was talking about, and you can go last with your news, Sue. The other one I was talking about, because I'm just so bloody excited, is that there is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is going to get a game. So we're going to get a Harry Potter RPG. It's not kind of really a Harry Potter RPG. It's more of a kind of Wizarding World RPG. And this was, like I say, there was a movie or a trailer that somebody had taken. Someone had filmed. They'd broken their NDA and they'd filmed this. Have you seen this? Did you see the clip that I stuck on the WhatsApp group this morning?
No, I didn't, to be honest. I must have skipped over that one. So no, I just
think we were too busy celebrating Horizon Day, I think. So, yeah. But anyway, this game is basically, it's set in 19th century, so that's the 1800s, Wizarding World, and it's a third-person open-world RPG that centers around your character with unique abilities who has earned a late acceptance into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The newly arrived 5th year, so you're going to come into Hogwarts as a 5th year student to Hogwarts that demonstrates a gift for magic with a unique ability to track and identify potential ancient powers. So upon arrival, strange events start to begin to materialize in the Forbidden Forest, and together with Professor Fig, you embark on a journey through both familiar and never seen before locations. So this just like, and then so it says features, which are journey to Hogwarts and become one of 8 different wizarding types, experience Hogwarts, make new friends, uncover new secrets, and change the fate of the the Wizarding World. Experience new magic system that creates countless possibilities. Freely explore the Wizarding World for the first time. Choose your house and your friends at Hogwarts, and decide to pursue a path of good or evil, and create your own witch and wizard and experience an all-new story separate from the books or films. And for me, that's just like, yes.
It sounds like Harry Potter. Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, the clip that hopefully, if I can find, because like I say, Warner Brothers seem to have taken a lot of them down. If I can find that clip, I'll stick it in the show notes, because there's one bit where the wizard that's playing your character, there's loads of goblins coming at him, and he just rips down the ceiling, and the ceiling just crumbles, and it looks so smooth and so stunning. It's amazing.
We haven't had a Harry Potter RPG sort of game yet, have we? We've had a few iterations of it, but nothing along the lines of, a full-on, immersive game.
No, we had the Lego games, obviously, which is coming back out again. And I think there was a game on the GameCube.
Oh, okay.
It's the one with the Aston Martin, the one with the blue car. So that must have been the Chamber of Secrets, So imagine Harry Potter and Aston Martin. Well, he does have a lot of money in Gringotts, I'm just like, so maybe. But yeah, so we've got, I woke up this morning and it was Forza Day, and then suddenly you get rumours that there's a new Justice League game, and then rumours and video that there is a new Harry Potter game. And if both of these are true, and if both of them come to light, then this should just be incredible. 2019, 2020 will be amazing.
I think it's great. It's going back to the Justice League again, and with Harry Potter, ashamedly, I own every Harry Potter movie because I've bought them off of Apple TV, and our awards dinner, which we had on Thursday night last year, was at Harry Potter World, and I really enjoyed it. But I've never. I suppose maybe it's because Molly's 8 in a few weeks, so we've bought the collection of books and everything like that because she loves reading, and I just want to sit down and start watching them with her. I think, but I think what's awesome about the games is that although it may be open world, it may be follow this, do this. It's sort of like, because you've got that Harry Potter world, it opens up so many more possibilities. The same as being in a Spider-Man world, or I just think that if they stay true to the movies, and and they maybe branch off, go down the sidelines, or maybe work on a subplot, like going back to what we were talking about with Solo with Star Wars. I think there's so many things you do. Everybody knows Harry Potter. Everybody loves having a wand. I don't care how old you are, and just to be able to do some stuff in some awesome graphics with some magic, it would just be brilliant.
Yeah, no, I saw this and I just thought, when you kind of said, oh, it's leaked, and you think, oh no, this isn't true. They would have made a big deal about it. They would have made sure this didn't leak. And then you see the quality of this game. Instantly I was like, I want this game, sign me up, because it just looks absolutely stunning, and it was just, and this is someone filmed it on their iPhone in a dodgy shaky cam, and that looks good. So what it looks like in 4K HDR will be incredible. But all the characters look really cool. You get to choose, very similar to a normal RPG, where you get to choose your character and customize your character, so you'll be able to have one that looks like you. And who doesn't want to be in Hogwarts and kind of get sorted. I want to get sorted.
Why have I suddenly got a picture of Harry Potter with Anthony Chetham's face on it? It's actually really disturbing.
just going to draw a thing now. I've got a pen here. But yeah, no, that's my Halloween costume sorted. I'm just like, come on. But it's absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait. Hopefully, like I say, we'll get an announcement, because the one thing that you find sometimes is, because this has been leaked by whoever did it, and it kind of, at one point, it starts to get you hyped and it gets you excited about it. But at another point, you just kind of almost feel sorry for that marketing team that's probably kind of getting ready for this big announcement, this big reveal. It's just been spoiled by someone who broke the NDA. But that said, it just looks absolutely fantastic. So I'll try and stick a link in the show notes, so you can kind of see that. But it's just amazing times. So Stu, the last piece of news here is with you.
The last news story was one that's just I don't know. I don't like to say it made me chuckle because it talks about typhoons, but it was a very serious message, but just made me sort of think, do you know, that's a really good idea. So I think we've all played Pokemon Go, and some of us have got into it a damn sight more than other people. But I saw this one again on Kotaku's UK site, which was Pokemon Go doesn't want you to play outside, especially during a typhoon. So it was reported yesterday. This weekend, a typhoon hit Japan. Unfortunately, Pokemon Go players noticed something, a little warning. Players were alerted of rain and strong winds on their devices when they loaded up Pokemon Go. There's not a huge amount in the story, but fundamentally, you know, looking at the pictures of people's screens and that, it came up with a warning saying that there was rain and wind when you launch Pokemon Go on your phone,
Right.
and it even went to the extent that when you look at the map, it came up with a strong wind symbol, to indicate that there's strong winds. Came up with careful, weather conditions are potentially dangerous. Be aware of your surrounding. Check local weather services, and it even came up with an umbrella with rain, and it said types of rain: water, electric rain, and lots of bugs. And then when you ignored all that and still went outside, your little Pokemon was standing in the middle of a field and rain was coming down and the wind was blowing his hair.
Oh, right.
So I just thought it was brilliant. I thought, in fairness, hats off to it's not Nintendo the developer, is it, of this one? But hats off to the developer for just one, being careful, but actually in a way just being careful, warning people, but making it slightly fun as well, saying, look, you're going to go out, you're going to ignore it, enjoy yourself, but look, hey people, be careful because this is going on, and because you're staring at your phone, you might not notice, so be aware of your surroundings.
Yes, that is just so cool. I love that. I just think that's so cool. The fact that they're probably stuck indoors and bored, so they're like, right, we'll just make sure that everyone else knows about this as well. That's so cool. I really like that. That's really fun.
But what a great idea, it's sort of it's just warn you of your surroundings when we're out playing the Ghostbusters game when it finally comes out. We'll have warnings up saying beware of pollution and things like that. So it's just a nice little twist on a serious subject, but slightly comical of how games can make us laugh and smile.
Absolutely awesome. But surely, like electric rain, that's really good for Pokemon, isn't it? I'm sure there's electric type Pokemon. If only Steve was on the pod, he'd know.
Yeah,
he'd be kind of laying some Pokemon down on us.
You're probably talking to the worst Pokemon person going. It's
I'll message Steve now and go, what's an electric Pokemon? What is a Pokemon? Anyway, on that note, that's about it for this episode. Big thank you for listening. Stu, big thank you for pulling up the mic.
Thank you very much for having me on again.
You're welcome. Don't forget you can keep up with us at gamersoflostspark.com. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, we're at Lost Spark Pod. You can also find us on YouTube, Gamers of the Lost Spark PS4 community, and also the Xbox One Car Club. Yes, the Gamers of the Lost Spark Car Club. Stuart, where can people catch up with you?
You can find me on Xbox and PSN at General Letdown, and on Twitter as Mr. Stuart Burgess. One thing I've started using Mixer, which I didn't mention earlier.
Oh, okay.
Because I did hear a rumour that you can get influence points for using Mixer on Forza Horizon. I haven't seen it yet.
It's there. It's in one of the menu screens. It's down in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, check out. Come and follow me over on Xbox, and I think on Mixer I've done it as mixer.com/General Letdown, and I'm starting to stream Forza as I'm playing it now to see what happens. So you can see me tear up the Cotswolds, and when we do the car club, when everybody can unlock it, you'll see how bad Anthony's driving is. So
it's terrible. It's terrible. It's so surprising I have so much fun in this game with my driving so bad. That's fantastic, actually, Stu, that you're on there, because what I would love to do, I'd always want to do it with Sea of Thieves and stuff like that, is have that multiple stream. You can in Mixer, you can have 4 streams going on one screen. So you basically, they'd be like me, you, and and James, Manny, Steve, or Matt, or whatever. But we just have like 4 people streaming, and so anyone watching will be able to see like the 4 people from the different, so they can see me crashing into you, and also what it looks like from my screen. I've always wanted to do that because that just sounds like so much fun.
I think the thing was, for me, it was sort of like I didn't want, you see people on Mix and webcams, they're talking to the camera and all that lot, and I just didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, well, look, I'm playing this, come and watch me play if you want.
Yeah.
And I may well put a mic on and speak into the mic a few times, but so far, I mean, it just, flip the home menu up, just go start broadcasting, flip out, start racing. It couldn't be simpler. So,
wow.
So yeah, definitely. I think we'll put it up on the Twitter account for the podcast when we're going online to crash, and we'll try and get Mixer up so some of the listeners can watch us in all our glory.
Yes, I'll put a link to your Mixer channel in the show notes as well. I'm just writing that down now. Put that there because that's just so much fun. Yeah, like I say, you could just like play. You don't need to be on mic, but it's just like, but it would be fun if you're not jumping into the Games Lost Spark Car Club. Then you could see the carnage that happens.
Definitely.
So yeah. So does it tweet when you start? Does it tweet when you start, or does it pop up and say, Stuart Burgess is streaming?
To be honest, I don't know at the moment. I think there is. I need to go back into the account and have a look at it. But there was like a link you can tweet out as a direct. So I needed to go in and see whether there was a way of going, when I start streaming, tweet out. I did have someone watch me this afternoon as I was doing the Halo showcase, and I got all excited. It was like, oh look, someone's watching me, and it's like, don't know who they are, and I couldn't speak to them, but I found it quite enjoyable. And then when they dropped off, I felt slightly disheartened.
You were like,
it's like, I'm only halfway through the showcase, and you dropped off. My driving must be really rubbish. So
it's like, well, whatever. But maybe you inspired him so much that he went and bought the Game Pass and played it himself.
It was probably Steve, to be honest. He was probably trying to see what was going on and cheat and copy my ideas.
Yes, he's probably just like sitting at work waiting to play. So, for me, I am Chessman on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, PS-Chessman on the PlayStation Network, and also Chessman UK on Twitter. Don't forget, if you have any feedback, please send it to our email address. That's feedback@gamerslostspark.com. I'm going to go watch the Bake Off, then play Forza.
I'm going to go and play Forza, I think, straight away.
Bake. Right, say goodnight, Stu.
Good night. Happy driving, people.